How do you explain to someone that the previous game, the first game, given how bad it was looking, given how little the spaces were between the balls, were that game was cleared by someone without even opening up the game, but just calculating the balls as they were? That is the speciality of the guy who is called CEAZER, who is up against Ivan Kanyesje in a race to 5 for a place in the quarterfinals of this ongoing 32-man competition at Kamwokya Poll Center. The prize for this victory is a quarterfinal match against Kenneth Odong. Ivan Kanyesje 0, CEAZER CHANDIGAR 1. Race to 5 live commentary is resuming shortly. But wait, Ivan Kanyesije, on his day, is one of the best attacking players in the country. Full of experience. He looks like a young man of around the age 20, but he's over 30. He's way more accomplished than you would ever imagine. By exactly 10 years ago, in 2014, though deaf, though dumb, he became a testament to the fact that disability is not inability. When he played in a tournament of over 1,000 participants and reached the final of Uganda's National Open Championship that year, he lost to eventual champion and legendary player Fahad Sewankambo. Since then, he has been up and about, one of the near men of Ugandan pool, one of the bridesmaid, you could say, in the sport, almost there, but never winning. Many a times in the latter stages and prize brackets of tournaments, but not winning. He has never ever beaten CEAZER CHANDIGAR. Today presents a chance, 1-1 between the two players who normally love to go for the game, but in a different way. Of course, CEAZER is more modern and lethal, but Ivan has got the ability to take down any player, and any player having CEAZER inclusive. Ivan 1, CEAZER 1, rest 5. My very good friend Richard Kleberson is one of the first people on the stream. Thank you for watching, Richard, and for loving pool. One thing I want to see you doing is managing one of these boys. Maybe Ivan Kanyesije, by the way, he doesn't have management, and I know it's something you can do quite well. And yes, William Soko, watching from maybe Lusaka, maybe Johannesburg, always frequenting himself between Zambia and South Africa for work and pool. The guy who inspired streaming of live pool matches on the African continent. He's the guy who provided the inspiration, the guy under whose shadow we have all worked. Thank you for being the inspiration, big brother William Soko. I'm not sure I'm your big brother. I don't know who of us is older. The only thing I'm sure of is that I'm a much better player than yourself. And the evidence is how many times you have refused to have a money match with me, even when I came to Zambia. You are simply pushing me away. You want me to play with Francis, but William, I'm sorry. I want you. Thank you for watching. Isaac Matik and Chiza Hamidu and Betty Tabitha with the stubbornest comments in the comment section ever. A fan of CEAZER who is in some kind of trouble here against a player who has never beaten him, but against a player who has the ability to do so. A player whom you will not intimidate, a player who will not have your fans shout at him because he doesn't even hear. A player who knows what to do with the white ball, but is up against the national champion, the new pride of Uganda on the pool tables, the people's player. Three years only, and you can count over 50 comps like this one which he has won, CEAZER. Almost unthinkable to accumulate those kinds of statistics, and yet in front of us is a guy who has done exactly that. And as for Ivan, without doubt, with the potential, especially in the attacking element of the game, to take down any player. Sometimes you just think that he's one of those players whose actual ability has never been realized in terms of his achievements. former player with the Indigo Pool Club 2013, Scrap Buyers Pool Club, and now Kansanga Pool Club, all in the Uganda Pool League. He is paid to play. In my opinion, a very bright young man. I normally fail to explain how he even dared to learn how to play the game of pool this well when he cannot speak, when he cannot hear. He has good ability to use the phone, especially internet. Reading and writing is not his problem. He's a guy, though deaf, is teaching me how to use sign language just to communicate with him. I always keep asking myself how he is able to maneuver between the areas. He moves on his own to different places. And whatever went on in his mind to produce a shot as brilliant as the one he has just produced, opening up the game entirely. Not intimidated by the weight of the opponent he's facing. He knows that within himself, he has the ability to take down any player, even if that any player is the Scorpion. That is Ivan Kanyesije. You'll think that was a little bit arrogant and reckless. Sometimes you need to go for the easiest option available, especially when you know that your opponent, if you don't use the chance, will use. And fortunately for him, he gets a white ball good enough just to roll the ball with top spin on the white ball to follow the red, to put both red and black to the same pocket, as long as it's on target, and does exactly that. This one will go down as a very wonderful clearance from Ivan Kanyesije, who now leads 2-1 against the would-be favorite, not just for this match, but also the tournament. Ivan 2, CEAZER 1, rest to 5. He told me, Ivan, in sign language one time, that he fancies the day he will fly out of the country, demonstrating with the sign of an aeroplane simply to play pool. At a very young age, he was permitted by his parents, though deaf, though dumb, to play the game around with able-bodied people. Because it is the sport of his passion. It is the talent, a God-given talent. And he has the ability to feed off this talent. A living miracle. Not just by how well he plays on the table when not able-bodied, but also the fact that he is a married guy with a wife watching at home and a child dependent on himself. There is a championship that was held with a special consideration and participation for players with disabilities, a category in which he qualifies to participate, but he did not, simply because he is good enough to take down even able-bodied personnel. Even in the Holy Championships, where there was participation of players with disabilities, you thought, very much as it was an international event, that he would be too good for anyone. He could easily be the best deaf pool player in the world, in my opinion. He could be that good. I'm not so sure the white ball for the black is good enough. He'll need a very sharp cut of the black to the center pocket on the right. He must make sure. If he doesn't, Caesar will. He makes sure. White is safe. Ivan 3, Caesar 1. The shock is on. The weekly competitions that are held at Kamwokya Pool Arena were first won. The first edition was won by Moses Omara. Moses Omara, just say hi.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just telling people that you won the first edition of the tournament.
Yeah, surely, it's absolutely right.
You went 4-0 down in the last game. I was only waiting to see Peter Manager's name being on the chart for the quarterfinals, and yet you won 5 straight. How did you do that?
Actually, I was brave because he was leading me 4-0. I didn't give up. I was like, this is pulled, just do your best. That's how I consoled myself. And at last, I played what I always do, and I made it.
And at last, you made sure?
Yeah, actually, I tried my best at least to make sure.
Do you know who your opponent is next?
It's Kasozi.
Kasozi Joseph, what can we expect from you against Kasozi?
All I can say, I'll do my best.
Do your best as usual?
As usual, provided my breaks are going to be good and I just capitalize on the mistake maybe he's going to give me, then I will make it.
Good luck. And before we let you off, do you think Caesar will make a comeback here? Your friend, maybe your brother?
Actually, I trust him. That's number one. He's a guy who can do wonders. All of us, we know that. But as far as I'm seeing this game, his break is not all that very good today. And Kasiro is playing well. He really is playing well. And if maybe anything happens, then he can come back. But the way Kasiro is playing today, I'm not quite sure.
All right. I now see. By the way, Kasiro, Kasiro is direct interpretation for a person who is deaf. That is how they are called here in our local lingua. Just attempted cut the ball with a backspin, a big backspin, which will allow him to open up the yellow ball top of the table near the red. He just came so close, but not close enough. I think he will have another opportunity to play a shot which achieves the same objective, opening up the yellow, which is near the red, top of your screen. In doing that, he misses and fouls. And these players, good as they are, when taking on this guy, the guy wearing white must always be wary that he can be so unkind when you have a chance to take him down and end up allowing him in the game. He has done that several times since he came onto the scene, and especially becoming an established player in 2019, all the way through the COVID period in Zambia, where he stayed as a semi-professional pool with Sharks Pool Club, winning over 25 tournaments, majority of them weekly tournaments like this one, returning back to the country in December 2022, and since then surpassing the 30 tournament mark, winning money match after money match after money match. And the only money matches where he has been defeated by any of the top players in Uganda is was when he was head starting them. A player of such accomplishment, you need to take your chance when you get your chance. And this game should go down as a loss to Ivan, but also a lesson to Ivan. It's been long, by the way, even Caesar being Caesar, since he won a comp like this one. And as good as he may be, it will be a long night if he's to win this one. Should he make a comeback and beat Ivan, his next opponent will be Kenneth Odong. Should he beat Kenneth Odong, a certain array of players, amongst whom could be Moses Omara, but also could be Joseph Kasozi in the semi-finals. But it's still an if. In the meantime, he's up against the black and pulls one back and is down by 3-2. Wani Kamansuri is about to take on Mark Mochibi in the first quarter-final of the match. The other quarter-final fixture, which is confirmed, is between Joseph Kasozi and Moses Omara. Player called Chris is taking on the youngster in Jackson Asiku, also racing to 5 for a place in the round of last 16 to take on John Simu. And the other match in the round of 16 is Eddie taking on Dog City, and the pair have just started. For now, Ivan 2, CEAZER 3. Ivan puts on the break, splits the balls but not well enough. And is discovering that to take down a player of CEAZER's caliber, you must be at your sublime best. Ethan Sirengo from Eldoret in Kenya, welcome to the stream. Junior Remish Chims Kapiola Chunga Deng Duo Chwach, you are definitely supporting CEAZER. You think CEAZER will be beaten? Okay. My good friend and fellow commentator and fellow streamer should be a short distance from the Ugandan border into Kenya, in the county of Kakamega, where he's best, where he spreads the gospel of the sport through his streaming and commentary skills. Evans Okacha. Many of you like to shower me praises of how good I am as a commentator. And I have this to tell you, that if you say that I am good, you could be mistaken. Go and listen to Evans Okacha. His streaming platforms are Rack and Shoot Blitz Facebook, Rack and Shoot Blitz YouTube. He's a talented streamer and commentator and player, by the way, though in terms of playing, not so much. Okay, most of his shots are misses, and I have evidence of that. I was so fortunate to work with you, Evans, when you came to Uganda. We jointly streamed the National Open Grand Finale, and you went back home with an Omunyankole lady. I hope that by 2030 you'll be paying school fees to a half Ugandan kid. Welcome to the stream. Love you, guy. Yega Owengabi, thank you for watching. And Tyler Nicky Hunt and Jackson Walusansa. Bosazi Rooney, you are watching from Bamboo Village. Afande Kerekere, one of CEAZER's fondest fans. You normally love CEAZER so much that I wish one time you meet him. And hopefully for him, you don't arrest him, especially should he lose this match. Short rest to 5. The match is halfway done. CEAZER needs 3. Ivan needs 2. And CEAZER now knows that even in a short race like this one, he must be at his best to take down Ivan. Jose Njuguna, you say that CEAZER is Africa's most feared player. No comment on that one. I am very certain he is one of the most feared. Whether or not he is indeed the most feared, I leave that one to you. But I love the unfolding rivalry between CEAZER and fellow top players on the African continent, most especially Aiden and Jerry. Those 3 at the moment, in whichever order. and now the toast of Africa today. And with due respect to all of the other top players on the continent, Kelvin Kandu, Victor Senyeza, Maluva, Ibrahim Sejemba, Saif Hamad, Abdallah Hussein, Sakala, as CEAZER now pulls one back and makes it 3-all. And you will want to think that the next frame is a very, very important one for whoever of these players wins it. CEAZER has been there and done it repeatedly all over again. He's facing an opponent who is so determined to beat him, but an opponent who is trying to do what he has never done before. Ivan Kanyesije has never ever beaten CEAZER. Maybe this is the best opportunity he has to. He has only performed one mistake in the entire 6 games he has played, and yet he has lost his lead. That is the problem of playing against CEAZER. When his game is on, you only want to be a spectator. When his game is on, you don't want to be his opponent. When his attacking prowess is in full gear, you may simply want to be his fan. When he breaks and pots and has balls in space as he is right now, the worst thing you will want to be is his opponent. That is what Ivan is right now. Every time we have him around, we try as much as possible to enjoy his presence. As nowadays the guy is moving all around the place simply to play pool. And coming up next is the World Hayball Series in Warsaw, in Poland, in Europe. And as ambassador for Joy Hayball Tables, he will be part of that one. Has been to China twice this year. Still moving around the place. Still promoting the sport and himself. And also having other players who are coming up behind him as beneficiaries. And for instance, he's ranked number 1 this year. Next year, despite his ranking by the Pool Association of Uganda, he will be part of the World Hayball Championships as brand ambassador, meaning that Uganda will have another slot in the competition, everything paid for and catered for by the organizers. And that means an opportunity provided to one other player. And speaking to opportunity, the guy who had gotten himself snookered just finds the angle and pots. And you will not find so many better clearances, not so many green apples as good as this one. Very tricky. It was looking. And yet the guy is making an ease of the clearance. Fans are simply looking on as the great guy is doing what is done by greatness. Another single visit clearance in the same game, this time by the same player who has just won 3 games in a row and leads 4-3. Sometimes when you're a player, you wonder, you start questioning yourself, what could I have done better? That is exactly what Ivan must be asking of himself. I've seen only one unforced error by Ivan in the match. And yet he has lost 4 games in succession. He will now be having a desperate break. The guy who needed to win 2 games out of 5 for a victory now needs to win 2 games out of 2 to win, or else have a painful journey back home. Player called Chris is surprising the youngster called Jackson Asiku by currently drawing 3-all on one of the tables. I think Dog City is leading 3-1 against Eddie Kayondo. We are using 3 tables, and we are now entirely in the round of last 16. There is only one ongoing game in the round of last 16, and then it will be quarterfinals all through. The match confirmed is between Joseph Kasozi and Moses Omara. Quarterfinals coming up. Mark Mochibi versus Bwanika Mansur. Quarterfinal confirmed coming up. The winner of this match will be taking on Kenneth Odong. In fact, I'm informed that Mansur and Mark Mochibi, the game has already started. And now officially we are using 4 tables. And at the current speed, in 3 hours or less, I believe we shall be done with this tournament. Given the challenges under which it has been held, that will be success in terms of time management. Now here comes Ivan. He has used all the experience with which he has been a renowned player for the last dozen years, over a decade, as a fearsome shooter in the city of Kampala, most especially the suburb of Machindya, where he resides and plays on those tables sometimes all through the night, where so few people can even dare to play him in that suburb unless he gives them head starts and handicaps and things of the sort. And yet he is facing a player who is giving him a test of his own medicine. This one should be a clearance that will most likely take us to a decider. Sometimes you wonder what could have gone wrong there. How dare he even allow the Scorpion back on table? Not when the Scorpion is 1 frame away from victory. Not when you have threatened him by going 3-1 up on him. Not when he is hoping to make a clearance that takes him to the quarterfinal. Not when he knows that you have run short of confidence. Not when he's shooting this well. He is having the confidence to play white ball to create an opening for a combination shot on the black ball, putting both black and yellow to the same corner pocket. And does so wonderfully. There's no better way to finish off a match, an opponent as good as Ivan Kanyesije, who led 3-1, than has CEAZER done. There is no way to get a better performance than that one. I believe that the Scorpion has given you what your eyes deserve, what your time deserves, what your data bundles, the precious data bundles deserve. In the final score is Ivan Kanyesije 3, CEAZER Chandigar 4. See you in the quarterfinals. In a minute, Joseph Kasozi, Moses Omara.